This morning, I want to talk about layoffs because you may have heard there are layoffs happening in your industry. You may have been personally impacted by them. In fact, you may have been laid off from your job recently. Someone reached out to me this week that I've worked with very closely for over a year who's been laid off. And the honest truth is, none of us know what's going to happen tomorrow. None of us know if you're going to have a job or not. And I know what that's like. I know what it's like to walk in an office that morning and have a job and walk out that afternoon and you don't have a job. You go from anger to fear, frustration to doubt. It sucks. And I know what that's like. And that's why I'm doing this video for you today. Because if you've been laid off, the 3 steps I'm going to lay out here in this video are for you. Now, if you're someone who's not sure about layoffs in your industry or in your company, but you just want to be prepared just in case, follow these 3 steps as well. Now, I'm going to put a disclaimer out there. Like the person who reached out to me this week, I can't go through all of your individual situations in this video. But what I can do is tell you, here are the 3 steps I'm going to lay out this morning. But if you want to talk about your particular situation, if you've been laid off, right here, connect.cicely.me, just screenshot that or type that into your browser. It goes directly to my calendar. Let's grab 10 or 15 minutes. Let's talk through your individual situation. Same thing, if you're not sure what's going on in your industry or your company, but you just want to make sure you're prepared, listen, just grab 10 or 15 minutes. Let's talk through it because I want you to know I'm here to help you. Just like I offered to the person who reached out to me this week, I'm here to help. And so that's why I want to walk through these 3 steps that you should follow if you've been laid off recently or if you're fearful that layoffs are coming in your job. So let's jump into these this morning. The first one I want to talk about, and if you've seen my videos before, you know I am adamant about knowing your value. For those of you who watch these videos, and I know you do, who are in the coaching program that I do weekly, you guys know we started the program this year with understanding your value, getting in touch, identifying, and knowing your value. And look, your skills are absolutely part of your value proposition. There is no question about that. But knowing your value goes one step further than your skills. Knowing your value is truly understanding what you bring to the table that no one else does. So if you've been laid off and you're applying for that next job, what are your differentiators? That's the value that you bring. It has nothing to do with your job and everything to do with you and your personal brand. So it's important that you and I talk about how to identify that value. And look, if you're looking at your skills right now and thinking, well, I'm organized or I'm a good manager, everybody can say that. That's not your value proposition. Your value proposition is unique to you. Like I said, it's what you bring to the table. And it's not only identifying and knowing your value, but it's also how you talk about your value. If you're going into interviews or if you're in your current company, again, you may not have been laid off yet, but you just want to be prepared. You need to know your value as well. How are you articulating your value to your boss, to your team, your peers, your colleagues, your company every single day? There are 4 ways. There are 4 things that you can say to articulate your value. And like I said, happy to hop on a call and talk through those 4 because there are language cues and ways you can talk about them that you're not boasting, you're not bragging, you're not seeming to compete with someone else. You're simply stating what your value proposition is and what your differentiators are. That is what will get you hired in that next role or perhaps keep you in the role that you are in. So I am just this is the secret sauce stuff. It's your personal brand and your value that you know it, that you understand it, and then you know how to talk about it in an interview, on your resume, in your current job. Knowing your value and being able to articulate it is absolutely what sets you apart from everyone else. Now, let's talk about number two, translate your experience. A number of you have reached out to me before. And when we start talking about your experience, you're all about the numbers and the tangibles. And look, those accomplishments are fantastic. You absolutely need to know your accomplishments without question. Your skills fit into that accomplishment kind of bucket as well, without question. But being able to translate your experience, again, your personal value plays into this, being able to translate your experience in your industry or in another industry is absolutely vital. It's why you have to couple your personal brand proposition with your skills and experience. As we talked about in a couple of videos ago, turning chaos into opportunity. We are in economic chaos right now. People are pulling back, businesses are pulling back, consumers aren't spending, businesses are hunkering down for a recession that hasn't happened yet, but they're fearful that it's coming. And we talked about in that turning chaos into opportunity video that your experience and your expertise are the opportunity you need to leverage. So when we talk about translate your experience, I can say translate your expertise here. It is absolutely critical that you couple those skills and the tangible accomplishments with your personal brand. Those things go hand in hand. And like I said, for those of you who've reached out to me, you know, when you tell me what you've done, it's all very concrete information, but it's very unique to the job you're in now, maybe not the job you're going for. Or if you've been laid off, maybe not the next job that you're seeking, or if you're in your current job, it's all very unique to your current role, not how you translate it to your industry or other positions as well. So understand that knowing your value proposition and what you bring to the table, like I said, there are four things there. Knowing those four things, coupling that with translating your experience and your expertise, those things go hand in hand. Now, if you have questions about one or two, and particularly number one, because listen, it takes some time. It takes some time for you and others as I kind of walk through your value. I mean, we gotta get into your personal experience, your professional journey. That is how you truly get in touch and identify your value, and then we get to the expertise in the experience part. That's how I can help you. I can help you identify parts of your personality and your personal brand that you don't even know exist. Someone said that to me yesterday and it blew me away. That I've changed their life by helping them get in touch with who they truly are and what they truly bring to the table. And if you're facing a layoff, you got to do the same hard work right now. So, knowing your value and translating that to your experience, those two go hand in hand. Let's talk about number three, leveraging your network. Look, if you're watching on LinkedIn right now, if you're on your phone, you've got your personal network in your hand. It's on LinkedIn. It may be in your contacts list or your address book. Leverage your network to your advantage. So the person who reached out to me this week, the first thing I said to that person was, "How can I help?" That person reached out to say, "Hey, I'm no longer at the company. It's been great working with you." Of course, I expressed my own frustration at their layoff, but then I said, "How can I help?" When you leverage your network, it needs to be, "Hey, I've been laid off. If you see this kind of job or this kind of job, let me know. Keep in mind, leverage your network and make the ask." People will help you if they know you've been laid off. They will. I proactively offered to help because I know how phenomenal this person is because I've worked with them for over a year. But when you leverage that network, it's okay to let people know, "Hey, I've been laid off, looking for the next greatest thing. Would love if you kept me in mind for this role or this role or this kind of role." Now, if you haven't nurtured your network over the last couple of years, maybe because of COVID or whatever, now's a time to re-engage. If you've been laid off, now's the time to re-engage your network. Even if you haven't been laid off, re-engage your network, whether that's on LinkedIn and you're sending people notes saying, hey, you got time for a cup of coffee on Zoom? Hey, can we meet up? Re-engage and leverage your network to your advantage. Now, look, I understand pride gets in the way of saying, hey, can you help me? But if you've been laid off, I'm going to submit to you this morning, pride is not the first concern you should have. Don't worry about what people think, but reach out and ask them for their help. Look, that's what I did. When I lost my job in 2018, I reached out to my network and I said, here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm hoping to do. I would love if you hired me. I need your help. And somebody that I knew 20 years ago on Capitol Hill when I first came to DC, he became my very first client. And now he's taken me to his last couple of jobs with him. And all I had to do was make the ask. But look, making the ask was hard. I didn't want to have to ask people for help, but people don't know what you're doing if you don't tell them. I just coached somebody on this recently who is trying to figure out what's next in their career. If you don't tell people that you've been laid off, or if you don't tell people you're looking for the next best thing, or if you don't leverage your network to say, hey, I just want to reconnect, if you don't reach out, they don't know. Everybody's busy. But if you reach out and leverage your network, LinkedIn, text messages, phone calls, grab a coffee, you decide what that looks like. But you've got to make the ask and let people know what's going on with you. Because when you do, they're gonna offer to help. And research shows a lot of people, get that next job, or they may move up in their current company through connections. It may not be your direct boss or your direct peer, but it's through connections that you've built that will lead to the next thing. So leveraging your network is it's so important. Use LinkedIn to your advantage. Reach out by text message. I literally just got a text while we're sitting here on this on this video this morning of someone who wants to connect with me for coffee this week. Uh, you got to leverage that network. And don't be scared in doing so, and don't be prideful in doing so. Make the ask if you've been laid off that you need some help looking for the next thing. And if you have not been laid off yet, you still need to re-engage your network to make sure your connections are strong in case you need them. So following these 3 steps are so important. Like I said, I can't get into your individual situation right now on this video, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about what you're facing. Are you fearful that the economic uncertainty is going to impact your job? Have you been laid off and you're kind of wondering what's next? Is your resume up to speed? Or, do you know how to talk about your experience? And some of you said to me, look, it's been a while since I've done this. I don't know how to do this anymore. My personal value, how do I do that? How do I talk about that? I get it. That's why I did a video also a couple of weeks ago on keeping your resume up to date. You just never know what's going to happen. So I totally 100% understand. But layoffs are happening right now. And it's not just the tech industry you read about, and it's not just tech, it's not just financial services. It's happening across the board because companies are fearful of what's coming. So if you've been laid off, connect.cicely.me. Just let me know. Just reach out. I'm happy to talk to you. If nothing else, I'm going to be a sounding board for you to kind of let me know what's going on. And look, I didn't say it a few minutes ago. I'll say it now. For people who reach out to me, I offer my network to you. I've lived in a lot of places, whether it's LA for law school or DC for the past 20 years, or leveraging Nashville, or people all around the country that I have even internationally, that I have connections with. I offer my network to people who reach out to me, especially those in my coaching program. So know that leveraging that network, know that reaching out and asking for help, letting people know your intention, that's huge. That's just huge. And you have to do it if you've been laid off or if you're fearful that it's coming. I would also submit to those of you who are watching this video and you're like, well, I don't know. I'm fine. Saw some comments on social media. I'm good. I'm just going to stay where I am. That's cool. If you think you're good in your job right now, that's totally fine. I'm still going to ask you, though, to prepare for what you may not know is coming. The unknown may be around the corner. You may be fine today, and not fine tomorrow. Like I said, I know what it's like to walk in an office in the morning and have a job and walk out in the afternoon and you don't have a job. It sucks. So I'm addressing this topic today. I'm going to do probably a couple more videos on this because you got to prepare for what's going on right now. No one is immune from it. No one. So let's talk about what's going on with you. Let's jump on a quick call. Let's talk through your situation. Let me see how I can help. And I'm going to be honest with you. If I can't help you, I may recommend you to somebody else who can. I did a call recently with a business owner who wanted my help. I wasn't the right fit to help him, but I found someone in my network who was. So that's the power of leverage in the network, and you can absolutely consider me part of your network. Whether you're on LinkedIn this morning or joining me from YouTube or joining me on Facebook, I'm going live on all channels because this topic is just that important. So you can reach out to me on all the social channels, private message me. You can jump on my calendar right here. And look, I'll give you my email address. It's hello@cicelysimpson.com. If you got questions, you can reach me by email as well if that's more comfortable for you. But what I'm going to do is I've mentioned a couple of videos that I've done previously. I'm going to link to those either in description or I'll link to them here somewhere on the side so that you have access to those as well. But also don't forget to keep watching these videos, guys. If you want direct career advice in your inbox, sign up there. But don't forget to keep watching these videos. I'm going to talk about the recession and start to talk about how you can future-proof your career against these economic shocks that are coming towards us.